this past weekend watched the very I'll say popular, but the Britney Spears documentary on the New York Times, framing Britney Spears, which is focused on her current situation surrounding her conservatorship, which her father is currently in charge of. Now, I wouldn't call myself a Britney Spears fan. I obviously know a lot of her music, if not all her music for the most part. But I would never consider myself a fan of hers. I mean, she has a couple good songs here and there. But I've always had a soft spot for her too. When she went through a lot of her issues in the late 2000s, her mental health breakdown, I actually never felt comfortable delving into that in terms of making fun of her and all that stuff. I never felt comfortable doing that just because, and mind you, back then, even 14 years ago, it's crazy. We were only 14 years now removed from that. Mental health was still not something we spoke about in the mainstream in the same way we do now. We've come a long way in a decade. We really have. The documentary, however, and you know me, I'm pretty, when it comes to documentaries, I'm always very skeptical who makes it, what's the intention, the sourcing and all that. I'm very thorough with that. But this one seems to be pretty on the up and up. And New York Times, for the most part, gets it right in a lot of ways. It was powerful. Lots came out of this, her relationship with Justin Timberlake and whatnot, and of course he apologized publicly to him and to her and Janet Jackson for his role in the Super Bowl Nipplegate thing back in 2004. Of course, apologizing to Britney for the way he treated her after the breakup in 2002. And of course, the main thing here is focusing on her conservatorship, which her father again was in charge of after her numerous breakdowns. First off, watching the documentary, I forgot. I didn't realize how much issues she had. Like, I know she had some of the things that were reported, but I didn't. They got to a point where I just stopped following her, like following what she was doing, and there was a lot of things that happened that I didn't even realize what was going on. Honestly, in 2008 and whatnot, the stuff that when she went the paparazzi and was following her, and she took out her umbrella and started banging on the guy's truck and the window and damaged that. I didn't realize that went on too. A lot of stuff happened there, and you see the next 10 years where she sort of gets her life back in order. Her dad's back in her life. He's now the head of her conservatorship. Her career has a second wind. Actually, she does well. Between 2010 and 2016, 17, even had a residency in Las Vegas. So, my opinion here, because now she wants back control of her life again. Her dad's in charge of finances and all that, and that's all be litigated now through a judge now, and she's winning a little bit of cases here and there. Still not in the woods yet, but she's won. She's been able to get a bank, control her money and all that. One thing I'm going to tell you is that it may not be popular with Britney fans. I'll say this anyway, even though I want her to be control of her life, obviously, and that's the best course of action. I would assume is the best course of action, because we ultimately don't know the devil in details, in the same way. We're not there, but I will say the conservatorship really did save her life, because I don't know if it was good and bad intentions here of her father Jamie. If that doesn't happen, is she even still alive? Forget her career. Her career obviously flourished again for a little while after everything that happened in 2007, 2008. But who's to say she's still alive? Because based on where we learned on the story, she was on the way out. She had people around her that did not have her best interest in heart. And I'm not even talking about her dad. I'm talking about people like, was it Sam Lufty and a couple of people, handlers and stuff she had around her that were not positive people in her life. So one can argue actually that the conservatorship actually was initially a positive. It saved her life and her career. One can actually make the assumption. Ultimately now she wants control back, which I agree with. She's 40 years old, or will be 40 years old this year. Time to control your life, right? I'm okay with that. But it's on Hulu, framing Britney Spears. Framing Britney Spears. Let me say it clearer. It was good stuff. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And I always, like I said, I always had a soft spot for her and Lindsay Lohan. I don't know what it is. Two people have had a lot of issues, but seem to, I don't know, I had a little bit of a soft spot for those two.